Meanwhile, a media briefing convened by the Jathika Helurumaya today, views were expressed on the visiting Indian parliamentary delegation.
පළමුවෙන්ම වැල්ලවත්තේ මැරයින් ඩ්‍රයිවර් එකට ගිහිල්ලා කොළඹ සිංහල බහුතරයක් අතරේ ජීවත් වෙන දෙමළ ජනතාවගේ ඉරණම පිළිබඳ මුලින් හොයලා බලන්න. එතුමන්ලාගේ දැනගැනීම පිණිස අපි කියන්නේ අද කොළඹ නගරයේ දෙමළ ජනගහනය.
Firstly, make a visit to Marine Drive in Valawata and look into the fate of the Tamils and the manner in which they live in midst of the Sinhalese. The Tamil population in Colombo stands 33%. The number exceeds the Sinhala population in Colombo. It is clear that the Indian government is responsible for the issues of the Tamils in Sri Lanka as well as the issues of the Sinhalese and Muslims who had to suffer at the hands of the LTTE. Following the murder of Rajiv Gandhi, everyone who gave evidence before the Jain Commission spoke openly. They said that the Indian government and the Tamil Nadu government assisted the LTTE. Why is the Indian government not implementing the recommendations made by that commission? We urge the Indian parliamentarians to free themselves from this mentality of treating Sri Lanka as their colony and consider Sri Lanka as an equal state.
ඉන්දියාවේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීතුමාලගෙන් ඉල්ලා හිටිනවා ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තමන්ගේ යටත්විද්‍යාවක් කියන මානසිකත්වයෙන් මිදලා ශ්‍රී ලංකාව සමාන රාජ්‍යයක් හැටියට කල්පනා කරලා විධිමත් අවබෝධය ලබා ගන්න.
United National Party parliamentarian Karujaya Surya calls for the immediate implementation of the recommendations of the Lessons Learnt and Reconciliation Commission before an election. The parliamentarian made this comment at a media briefing held in Colombo today.
The elections that were held in the country after the 18th Amendment came into effect and the 17th Amendment was abolished cannot be considered as free and fair elections. The government has asked for more time to implement the recommendations of the Lessons Learnt and Reconciliation Commission. But we do not see the need for them to do so at this period of time. They do not expect to hold a free and fair election in the north. We ask that all ethnic groups in the country be given the right to elect their representative through a free and fair election after 30 years of terrorism. All recommendations mentioned in the LLRC report pertaining to conducting free and fair elections and ensuring the protection of democratic rights should be implemented before an election. Furthermore, independent commissions should be immediately established.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa met with the visiting Palestinian Minister of Religious Affairs at Temple Trees today. One of the main topics discussed during the meeting was the importance of religious tolerance. Speaking about his first visit to the island, Palestinian Religious Affairs Minister Dr. Mahmoud Al-Habash said, quote, "Sri Lanka is a very fantastic country with great people," unquote. During the meeting with President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Palestinian Religious Affairs Minister Dr. Mahmoud Al-Habash talked about Palestinian politics and the stalled Israeli-Palestinian peace process. Dr. Al-Habash thanked the President for Sri Lanka's support to Palestine during the UN General Assembly vote last year on the resolution on grant non-member observer state status to Palestine.
Maintain Palestine. Maintain Palestine. From Sri Lanka. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, Palestinian Religious Affairs Minister Dr. Mahmoud Al-Habash visited the Masjid Al-Shahid Yasser Arafat Mosque in Beruala today. Former UNP Minister Imtiaz Bakir Marker accompanied the visiting minister and his delegation. The delegation engaged in prayer at the mosque and later presented scholarships to 21 students at the Masjidul Abbas Mosque in Beruala.
Poorly maintained drainage systems around Upper Charles Drive in Kolpiti have severely inconvenienced residents. Residents say that these drainage systems overflow even at the slightest hint of rain.
Speaking at the House of the Legislature today, United National Party parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa spoke on the issues faced by police bodyguards and civil defence force personnel.
When will the
1,460 personnel in the police bodyguard service who are still remaining and who served exceptionally during the war be appointed to permanent positions in the police service? When the Procedure on Promotions and Recruitment that is pending approval is passed, measures will be taken to provide them with their salary increments and other benefits. The President had said that they will be given a pension, be given permanent positions and will be given a permanent salary without any conditions. However, the Civil Defence Department says that 20 years of service should be completed to obtain the pension right. A circular to provide a pension has been presented. If you wish to attend the next meeting of the Select Committee on Security, you will see.
කාරක සභාවට එන්න හැමතුමා උපදේශක කාරක සභාව තියෙනවා නම් මම එන්න. ඔව් තියෙනවා. ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ අවසානයේ තිබ්බේ කවදද කියලා. මේ ඇත්තටම උපදේශක කාරක සභාව ආරක්ෂක උපදේශක කාරක සභාව මාස ගණනකින් පවත්වලා නැහැ.
United National Party parliamentarian Ravi Karanayake speaking in Parliament today focused on the issues that have arisen when providing material for school uniforms.
Minister, the Education Ministry has estimated that a sum of 4,800 million rupees will be spent for such a program. Does this mean that you will not be providing school uniforms in the entire country? If you can provide me with details of schools that have not received uniform material, may it be in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Ampara or even in Colombo in this regard, I can conduct an unbiased investigation.
අපක්ෂපාත පරීක්ෂණයක් කරලා බලන්න. දේශීය නිෂ්පාදනය ආරක්ෂා කරනවා කියන ආණ්ඩුව.
The government said that local manufacturers will be protected by implementing such a program. However, the government has sought the assistance of China in this regard.
50% දේශීය නිෂ්පාදකයන්ගෙනු කලට වේලාවට නොලැබීම නිසා
50% will be obtained from local suppliers. If local suppliers fail to provide what is required on time, we import the necessary goods via the state corporation. Local suppliers assured us that they can meet the requirement. A separate cabinet subcommittee has been appointed to look into this claim. If the local producers can supply 100% of the material, the order would be given to them.
5 persons died in separate motor accidents that occurred in the island yesterday and today.
An accident occurred at around 7 last evening near the Paliyama police station on the Anamadua-Chilau main road when a motorbike and tipper collided. A 65-year-old woman and a 1-year-old child who were travelling on the motorbike died in the accident. Our correspondent said that the mother of the 1-year-old child and a daughter who were also travelling on the motorbike were admitted to the Chilau General Hospital. The victims were residents of the Ambakale area in Palama. The police said that the tipper driver was taken into custody. Meanwhile, 2 persons died when a lorry crashed into a wall in the Lunukalapua area in Dikwella, Matara. According to the police, the accident occurred due to speeding. 2 persons who were travelling in the lorry died in the accident, which took place at around 4 a.m. today, while the lorry driver was hospitalized. The deceased were residents of the Kolonna and Beliat areas in Amblipitia. A woman lost her life when a motorbike collided with a bus in Anuradhapura this morning. Our correspondent said that the woman's husband, who was injured when the motorbike they were travelling in collided with the bus, had been admitted to hospital. The bus driver has been taken into custody in connection with the incident. A container veered off the road and crashed into a shop in the Batugedar area in Ratnapura. Although property in the shop was damaged in the accident, no injuries were reported. This is the first illegal migrant boat in 5 years to evade border security and reach the Australian mainland. Women and children are among the passengers of the boat, which had been at sea for about 6 weeks. The Premier of Western Australia, Colin Barnett, said that the vessel's ability to evade all border security and reach the mainland was incomprehensible.
The evidence at the moment revealed that they are Sri Lankans, but their confirmed destination and confirmed origination has not been yet established. So in the next few days, Australian authorities will interrogate these refugees, claimants, and make a decision as to which location they originated and what was their destination.
In an interview with ABC News, Australia's Home Minister Jason Clare had this to say.
Well, first they'll be transferred by plane if they're fit to fly to Christmas Island. That's where they'll be screened. If at that point it's identified that they don't meet the requirements of the Refugee Convention, then they'll be flown back to Sri Lanka.
A landfill in Mitotamulla, Kolonnawa was the focus of attention in recent times. What is the present situation regarding this issue? News First takes a 360-degree look.
The Satyagraha campaign, which commenced last Saturday calling for the immediate removal of the landfill in Kolonnawa, was dispersed by the police yesterday. Accordingly, the dumping of waste at this landfill resumed today. The majority of the waste that is disposed of here is from the Colombo Municipal Council. The chairman of the Kolonnawa Urban Council, DG Ravindra Udayashanta, notes that 2 acres had been allocated for the CMC to dispose of waste here. However, he notes that as of now, the landfill spans across a 13-acre plot of land.
We did not receive a response from anywhere. We only asked for the freedom to breathe. When you open the door, you see this waste hill. We did not come here for anyone's personal benefit.
These people were elected by the people's vote. This is what you call asking for it. What has happened here is that we have asked for it. Meanwhile, members of the Kolonnawa Urban Council and Western Provincial Councillors convened a media briefing today over the landfill in Kolonnawa.
I wish to express the displeasure of the entire Kolonnawa community on the IGP at this moment. It was because of the actions of the Commission of the Colombo Municipal Council that this situation grew worse.
I wish to voice our displeasure over the dumping of waste from the Colombo Municipal Council in Kolonnawa instead of disposing of it in Colombo. Those people never thought of this from the people's side.
When anyone has a toffee, we get the wrapper. When anyone eats a banana, we get the peel. Just because we are Pradesh Sabha Urban Council chairpersons, we cannot take the waste home. We need a permanent solution. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Kolonnawa Urban Council, GD Ravindra Udayashanta, had this to say. I cannot make decisions. What we can do at a time like this is go there. There are some looking for political benefits, looking to run for this chair. The situation has arisen where I cannot remain in this chair. Already a key person in our party has told council members not to support me in this. I will not mention names at this point. The land was given to us by the Colombo Urban Development Authority. It is not only waste from Colombo but from Kolonnawa, Mitotamulla and surrounding areas that is dumped here. This is administered by the Colombo Municipal Council. We had to move 101 families away from here. We relocated them and paid them 14.2 million as money for rent. We can see that about 30 more families are at risk. We will hold discussions with them and the clergy in the temple and look for an alternative for them as well. We have not abandoned them.
ඒගොල්ලන්ටත් විකල්ප මාර්ගයක් අපි ඒ ජනතාව අපි අතරමං කළේ නෑ.
Meanwhile, the Colombo Municipal Council has announced that uncategorized waste or waste that has not been separated into recyclables, wet waste and green waste will not be collected in future.
ජූනි 1 වෙනිදා ඉඳලා
From the 1st of June, we will implement a program where waste will only be collected if it is categorized. When we categorize and collect the waste, we can reduce about 25% of the waste that goes to the landfill in Mitotamulla.
අපට පුළුවන් වෙනවා මීතොටමුල්ලට යන කුණු ප්‍රමාණය 125කින් විතර අඩු කරන්න.
Let's now take a look at the newspaper cartoon of the day.